Nobody runs trade nights like we run trade nights. Mr. Trevor Lawrence.
How we doing?
Let's go! Yes, sir! Amazing. Try to bring that to the next generation, to bring it to other people, to hopefully inspire them. This is not possible without you. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a very exciting interview, one I've been looking forward to for quite some time. Today, we have the CEO of Fanatics Collectibles joining us today, Mike Mahan, who really guides Topps and Fanatics' vision in the trading card and collectible space. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule this holiday season.
Happy to be here. What's up, Ryan?
Not too much. I'm excited for this. I've been telling my team, I've been looking forward to this for a while, to sit down and ask you about some questions about some of the things we've seen this year and then maybe some things to come. But the first thing I really want to start with is really around this in the moment. One thing I've seen recently on social is the Ohtani 50-50 packs have started to ship. I saw Topps share the moment with the collector who hit the 101 Super Auto out of one pack. And I look back on the year and some of the things Topps and Fanatics has done, and I feel like this has been a really big part of the year, maybe something we haven't seen as much in the past in the industry. Things like a Victor product around one of the biggest, prospects probably since Zion. You've got the game-used debut patch autos. Then you've got the triple 101 auto during the Olympics, the Ohtani 50-50, a big-time moment for a big-time global superstar athlete. Why do you think those moments are so important for Topps and getting those moments in the trading card space?
Well, moments are what we remember, right? And there's nothing better than a big moment in sports. And you can have a picture of that moment, and that's great. But if we can give you memorabilia from that moment or a special inscription relating to that moment, anything that we can do to connect you to the moment or the athlete or the team, that's ultimately what we are trying to do. And so there's various ways to do it. And we've come up with some new and innovative ways to bring you closer to that. And with Topps now, if we can go to market with that right when it happens, right when everyone's talking about it, and be part of the conversation, and frankly, be part of a lot of people's memories, that's special. And I think you've seen a lot of interest in those products take off as a result of that model.
100%. Yeah. As someone, I was a ticket collector growing up. So with that phasing out and you go to a game, you see that moment, you see those big things happen. We don't really have the ticket collectible anymore. So it's like, how do you collect those moments? And I think this is one thing that Topps has done just a really, really good job on.
Well, thank you. And I would say also, there's going to be the big moments like Ohtani 50-50 that captivates the world. And then there's going to be the times you go to a game and see 2 home runs or a spectacular defensive play that may mean something to you, but may not have the broad appeal that it has to everyone else. And we still want to do those things too. Obviously there's a threshold, but we want to capture really a broad swath of moments to appeal to a broad swath of collectors.
Love it. So obviously moments like that create buzz and demand in more of a short-term moment that you hope leads to long-term collectors joining, the industry. But I think one of the things that you've done really well in 2.5 years as a CEO is create projects and moments that are a little bit more long-term and create more long-term collectors. Things like the debut patches, things like MVP buyback, hobby rip night. That is one of our highlights of the year now. That's a big moment.
It's real.
Yeah, those are things that create real long-term buzz in the space. What have you learned in your time as CEO around those bigger long-term projects like that?
Well, let me just first say it's not me that does it. It's the terrific team that we have. This really is a team sport. We have a great group, and we are religiously focused on the collector and the collector experience. That is our North Star, and that's what we think about each and every day. So when we talk about bringing you closer to those moments, we know that's going to be special for collectors. And that's why we do it, and that's why we're focused on it. Ultimately, if you think about what we're trying to do, right, we're trying to excite and engage with existing collectors, and we're trying to bring more collectors in, right? That to us is living in service of either existing collectors or future collectors, right? Relentlessly enhancing the collector experience. That's what we think about. And so community is a big part of that. And community sometimes gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. And so when we created Rip Night, it was really just to celebrate this great community that we love and that we're also passionate about, and really bring that out of the shadows and into the open, and to have athletes and kids and hobby shops and really come together to celebrate what we all know is this very special experience in the world of collecting known as the hobby. It's frankly become bigger than we ever thought it would be. I mean, a year into this, we had over 500 stores. 30% of those stores said they did record revenue on that day, like in the history of their shop. We never even thought about it as a commercial event, right? We thought about it as really an engagement tactic, a marketing tool, and it's taken on a life of its own. And we had over 100 athletes come out. They love doing it. They're happy that they asked to do it. They want to do it. They come back year after year. You've seen an explosion of athletes that are into collecting now. And so it really is this community celebrating all of the things that are special about the hobby, and it's worked well. And I think the best will be yet to come. I think it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger. This year you saw it go global for the first time. I think that's going to be a big part of the growth. So not everything we do is going to work, but Rip Night has been a tremendous success. Obviously, the debut patches have gone exceedingly well, right? Again, bringing you closer to these moments. The first time a player walks on the field and having a piece of that moment, by the way, for every player, not just the big rookies, but, and so that's been fun. Seeing players chase their own debut patches has been amazing. We all saw what the Pirates did with Skeens. We'll see if and when that card gets pulled, and maybe they'll get the card, maybe they won't. So there's also a lot of fun that comes along with this, right? And so we want to bring that to market. The MVP buyback has been a great initiative, gives people a way to return value to the collector, brings them into the hobby shop. And it's just fun. It's fun. Hey, this guy may win MVP. I'm going to save those up. Oh, I have a stack of Otanis. I'm going to go get that Bowman draft box that I want. So that to us, those type of things, we want to be thoughtful. We want to be smart. We're not trying to do things just to do things. But when we'll try a bunch of different things. When they work, we want to lean into it, and we want to continue to improve it each and every year. And I think, at least with those three things, I think they've gone very, very well.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Looking at the conversation you just mentioned, I heard a lot in there that stood out to me. That's the future, collectors, kids. I think growing this hobby, Michael Rubin said a bunch of times, we want to 10x the hobby. And while I believe that to be possible, I think you and I would both agree that the kid aspect of this hobby is such a big piece of this. I know you're a dad with a son who collects. My son is not old enough yet, but I look forward to those moments. I look forward to those moments one day for sure. What do you think Topps is doing now to really prioritize the next generation of card collectors?
Well, I think a number of things. I mean, you see Rip Night in those community events. I think that's a big part of it. I think it starts with product and having accessible product at pricing that people can afford, entry-level product that people can understand. I think marketing the category really for the first time in any meaningful way has been a big part of it. We engage with youth sports, so we have a big partnership with Little League where we give every Little Leaguer a pack of cards on their team, right? So in the sport that you've selected, you get a pack of cards to open with your teammates. We've seen tremendous dividends with that. The way we're engaging with hobby shops and encouraging them to engage with their community, those type of things attract young people. And then I think you just generally do things the right way. And I think make this hobby something you want to be a part of. And that if you can do that, you're going to attract kids, you're going to attract middle age, you're going to attract people of, really across the board. And so for me, it's a personal one for me. I have two boys. My 11-year-old is a massive collector, and having that shared experience with him has been one of the great joys of my life. And watching everything that he's been able to learn and to accomplish through the world of collecting. 3 years ago, he was painfully shy. And so for him to walk up to a dealer and negotiate a price, I remember the first time we ever went to a card show, he said to me, how much do I get? I said, here's $20. You can go buy anything you want. He said, okay, I want to buy this LeBron James. I said, okay, well, you have to go negotiate it. And I go, how much is it? He goes, $5. I said, okay, well, why don't you offer 3 and then maybe you'll close at 4. And he hands me the money. He said, okay, you do it. I said, absolutely not. Who's going to get the better deal, the cute kid or me? He goes, the cute kid. I say, okay, great, go to it. And so he sheepishly goes over there and he tries to negotiate the deal, and he comes back with a big grin on his face. I got it for $3.50. But what the interaction that he's having, he's learning how to negotiate, he's learning how to engage. And then 3 years later, he can, he knows so much about keeping cards safe and which products are which, and how to think about who he wants to speculate on and what collecting journey he's taking. And he's able to engage other kids and adults and athletes in a way I never would have dreamed possible 3 years ago. And we did this ad, Joy of Collecting.
Yep.
And it shows a father and a son having that shared experience. And when I think about my son and the things that we're doing today will be the memories he has tomorrow, it brings a tear to my eye. And so even if I wasn't doing this, for a job, we would be collecting as a family, because I really do think that it's special. I think it's unique. It's something, some of the greatest memories of when I grew up, and now doing this with him and making it a generational thing, it's been awesome. So I'm hoping my little guy gets into it like my 11-year-old, but the fact that we've had really 3 great years of active collecting with him has just been awesome.
I love it. You mentioned in there, about product and, having those products for kids. Well, why we're trying to grow, why Topps and Fanatics are trying to grow the hobby 10x, you've come up with some really cool, innovative products. There's no denying there's demand for those products. But you're also 18 months away or less from having most of the licensing. And as you try to grow the hobby, you're really going to have this challenge of how do we grow it, create fun, exciting products, while also not ending up back where we were 30 years ago in the 90s, which ultimately led to a temporary crash in cards with the junk wax era. What do you think you're doing now to really grow it in one end, but also make sure we don't end up back there?
So I think there's this intractable tension in the hobby. If you make things too scarce, right, they become valuable, desirable, but also inaccessible. Yep. I can't afford this. The prices are too high. You've priced me out of the hobby.
Yep.
If you make it too plentiful, right, so now it's super accessible, you ramp up the volumes, anyone can get it, all of a sudden it's not desirable. Hey, junk wax era 2.0, you're ruining the hobby, you're printing too much. And you could line up 100 people and you'd have 100 different opinions about where to draw that line and achieve that balance. And so we think about this all the time. And ultimately where you land is you land on product segmentation. There'll be certain things like Series 1 that are designed to be accessible, that are designed to be affordable, that are mass products. And that doesn't mean they're not great cards in Series 1 that are super valuable and super rare and super special. But Series 1 is a mass run product that goes to retail and hobby and is designed to be accessible to young collectors. And then you have things on the other end like Dynasty, which are meant for the high-end collector, which are meant to be scarce and valuable and highly desirable. And you have a lot of things in between. And so the way we think about it, particularly as the tent broadens, is we want to have something for everyone. And not everyone has to like every single thing we're doing. We frankly don't expect you to, but we want to create a collecting journey or collecting journeys that excite you, that meet you where you're at in the hobby, that are authentic, that connect you to the moment or the athlete or the team, and really bring in a sense of community that you know others are doing the same around you, and then having that come together either online or in real life where you can engage with people that are like-minded and chasing the same things you are. That's how we think about it. And that formula, look, we are far from perfect. We still make a lot of mistakes. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at the number of new collectors, if you look at the number of athletes that are collecting, the storytelling that we're doing, the products that we're creating, by and large, are connecting with people. And so we're trying to get better each and every day. We do not, we take our mistakes seriously. We take our life lessons seriously. But if you look at it broadly speaking, I think the hobby is alive, the hobby is thriving, and the best days are yet to come.
I love it. I love it. Well, we got a couple more here as we get ready to wrap this up. You mentioned something for everyone. You guys have the Topps baseball license. That's obviously really a big, if not the biggest piece of the Topps brand. Basketball, football are coming soon. We've had a lot of success this year with other brands. You have the first ever Disney Chrome Sapphire. You have multiple tennis products. I'm a huge college football collector. We have multiple products in an NIL world right before the college football playoff. F1 just sees a $1 million sale on a Lewis Super.
Yep.
A lot of success around the other brands in 2024. What do you envision that looking like, in 2025 and beyond?
I think I said it earlier, but the best is yet to come. I think we are going to lean in to this authentic storytelling. A lot of things that you've seen in baseball, while not done the exact same way, you'll see in these other areas. You're going to see fans connected to these moments and athletes in ways that you've never seen before. And we have a lot of exciting things coming up. And when I look at the level of innovation for 2025 and 26, it is very exciting. So I don't want to get into too much of it now, but there will be a plethora of announcements that I think will engage and excite really collectors across the spectrum for each and every license that we have.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to kind of continue on this a little bit, maybe see if I can get a little bit more out of you. By the time this interview goes live, we'll probably be a week away from the 3-year anniversary of Fanatics acquiring Topps. At this point, right before that anniversary, what are you most excited about for 2025?
I mean, look, I'm very excited for the new licenses that we have. So I'm excited for Disney, I'm excited for Marvel, I'm excited for Premier League, I'm excited for NBA, I'm excied for some things I can't talk about right now, but there's more to come. So I'm excited for that. But really, if I had to distill it to one thing, I'm excited to continue to grow this hobby, to improve this hobby, to continue to do everything we can to make it special. And I think if you think about the new products that are coming or the new innovations that are coming, which I just alluded to, some of the marketing things that we're going to do, some of the ways that we're going to engage the community, some of the new technologies that we're going to incorporate, I think the Fanatics Collect app, that experience is going to radically enhance the way people collect and the way people consume products. So there is a tremendous amount to come. I think 2025 will be the best year we ever had. 2024, it was a record year, and 2025 is going to be even better.
That's awesome. Well, I can say as someone who has been a longtime collector and now a business owner in the space, I'm very, very excited, but super appreciative that you took time out of your day for this. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot.
No, great. It's great to see you. Great to spend the time. I hope Ohio State does something for you. And have a great holiday, man.
Me too. Thank you, Mike.
All right, be well.